Alright, before I get into the video, just real quick, anybody who doesn't like rant videos, anybody who doesn't love these long-winded speech type videos talking about something that they truly are passionate about, click off. This isn't going to be a video talking about why I love Sword and Shield. This isn't a video about... It's going to be a very long, ranted video talking about the upcoming Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield. I'm warning you guys right now. Click off if you don't want to watch it. That simple. If you disagree with my opinions, if you have points that you want to say, put them in the comment section down below. Otherwise, if you're going to badmouth this game, click off the video immediately. If you don't care about my opinions, click off the video immediately. I don't want this shit. So I was going to make a top 10 reasons as to why I really love Pokemon Sword and Shield and why I think it's going to be the next best Pokemon game. That was going to be the video for this week because I did say I was going to upload 2 videos a week. But for the past week, and this is the launch week of Pokemon Sword and Shield, it has been just non-stop hate. I've already gotten not 1 but 2 different trendings on Twitter because number 1, Game Freak tweeted out and there was a rumor saying that Game Freak spirits were extremely low due to the amount of fan backlash and fan interactions that they've been getting, the amount of death threats that they've been getting. They've been getting ridiculed on and on over and over again about how bad Sword and Shield is, even though we haven't even played it yet. Take in how ridiculous that sounds. We have not played the game, and they are already getting death threats. They are already getting bashed on Twitter, Instagram. They're getting bashed everywhere because you guys keep on saying, or sorry, no, not you guys, but just a negative amount of people in the community keep saying Pokemon Sword and Shield looks like a garbage piece of shit game. Okay. That's fine. We went through this already. We went on Twitter, a bunch of people, and thank you to these people. These guys were so supportive. They said, hashtag thank you Game Freak. That was trending on Twitter. I thought that was actually one of the most inspirational things that we as a community could come together and say, because we haven't really done that. We never thanked them for making this game. We've always just stated our opinions and how we think or how we feel like we're going to experience the game. But realistically, most of us have not played it. Okay, that's fine. Just this weekend, a bunch of people are already getting the game. Leaked copies, data mines are coming out. There's just a bunch of stuff that's coming out for Pokemon Sword and Shield. And that's to be expected. That's any game. Any game, almost every single game has this. A lot of people will get early reviewers copies, or maybe just some person around the internet has the full-blown game and is data mining and is doing that, and I like that. I love that a lot. It doesn't really spoil anything for me personally, but that's just what happens with any game. So now I come to my surprise. I've already just finished rewatching Star Wars Force Awakens, not relevant to the topic, but I've just literally spent the last 2 hours seeing on Twitter the amount of bullshit that people have been posting. And it's just so wrong. I saw a video when I got home today talking about the shadows and how this game deserves better and could have been better. Okay. I understand your points. But you guys are talking about such small, minute details that don't really matter. I went on Twitter this afternoon when I got home, and pretty much somebody explained to me, or somebody posted a video explaining that how the shadows in Sword and Shield are just super unrealistic. Okay. So, let me get this straight. You guys do understand that Sword and Shield is a game that takes a very long time. They've not only had to go through making a bunch of new assets for just the clothing alone, which is over thousands of options. Clothing brand new Pokemon in the game, brand new typings, abilities that they have to rework. They have to rework the way that moves work in the game. They have to rework the way that Pokemon works from the ground up because this is a brand new engine. They have to rework how motion works. They have to rework graphics, lighting, everything. They have to rework. And even if it does look like Pokemon Sun and Moon, they still have to redo it because it's not on the same hardware. You guys have to understand that. It's not just, oh, this is Sun and Moon, move it over. Can't do that. It's not how that works. And that's just the ridiculous part. Yes, it still looks the same, but they can't just take whatever they had and move it over to another console. That's not how that works. Especially since the last game that was on the Switch was Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, looks very different to Sword and Shield, means that they couldn't use a majority of things that came from Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. They couldn't use most of that stuff. So you realize that all this is happening, and you're still complaining, you're still trying to justify the fact that this game isn't a quote-unquote Nintendo seal of approval game. You're trying to justify the fact that, oh, these guys are lazy pieces of shit for no reason. Because, honestly, and here's the part that pisses me off, is that you got people talking about how the shadows are really bad when they have no idea what they're talking about. Absolutely no idea what they're talking about. I have seen much worse games do much worse damage than Pokemon Sword and Shield. And that's a fact. People are expecting this game to look top tier. Okay, you guys have to understand that the Nintendo Switch alone is hardware. It has very big hardware restrictions. It is not as powerful as a PlayStation 4. It is not as powerful as an Xbox One. It is nowhere close to that level of graphics, that level of just everything. It's just nowhere close to those two consoles. Those are two of the major competitors for Nintendo. Those two really, really drive it. But yes, Nintendo has always strived and always pushed their boundaries, even with hardware limitations. So, okay, well, if you don't want to use that as an excuse, you gotta understand that Game Freak is making a game. They're making a service to make sure... Okay. Let me rephrase myself. You guys have to understand that just because they can do something doesn't mean that they're 100% going to do it. It costs a lot of time and a lot of money to make a video game. It costs constant amount of meetings, constant amount of time. And this is something that Game Freak has most likely talked about internally. Game Freak has most definitely talked about the shadows in the game. They've most definitely talked about every single nitty gritty type of thing, but because Nintendo is their publisher, Nintendo isn't just full blown made of money. Nintendo has to say, okay, we can fund you guys, but at the same time though, and this is where Nintendo comes in, they have to go, we need to cut budgets on specific things so that this can get done on time and released on time so that a lot of people can play. I fully understood why they didn't include all 1,000 plus Pokemon into Sword and Shield. I was completely okay with that. Because my thing is, and a lot of people know this, not everyone is going to get every single Pokemon in Sword and Shield. Yes, there are people who love to finish every single Pokemon, like Pokédex entry. There's people who will capture everything, will do everything within the game to 100% it, and that's great. Awesome. Kudos to you. That's great. Same time, though, there is probably a bigger majority of people who do not do that. Okay? And while, yes, every Pokemon is someone's favorite Pokemon, you got to understand that they had a meeting, They talked about it, and they literally sat there. This isn't like a day process. This is something that they probably sat down and talked about meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, like a lot. Because for them to even consider the fact to take away a specific amount of Pokemon in the game is a lot. And for them to even think about which Pokemon are not going to even make it in the game is a lot to think about. So when you have Game Freak sitting here making sure that they can make the most highest quality game, and then I have a bunch of fans straight up disrespecting Game Freak as if they've never made a good Pokemon game, as if they've never delivered a quality service in their life, you got me fucked up. And this is the part that really pisses me off, because it's Pokemon. We haven't even played the game. I know what a lot of people are saying. This is the same thing where in Let's Go, I was really upset that they removed abilities in the game. It took competitive Pokemon out the water. And a lot of people were also upset about that. Same time though, as soon as I played Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, I immediately knew I was wrong. I made a terrible mistake, and I made a video talking about how abilities in the game, those abilities being removed from the game, doesn't really affect the game fully. Like, yes, I didn't really play it after a while, and yes, I didn't really dive into the competitive aspect of Let's Go, because let's be honest, it's not that good of a competitive game.
What competitive?
Same time though, that was Let's Go, and we knew before we even got in there that, hey, this was gonna happen. Could you imagine Sword and Shield released and not all the Pokemon were in the game, and we all bought it? They never talked about it. Game Freak was honest with us. They sat there, they said, honestly, not all the Pokemon are going to be in the game. Could you imagine a bunch of people bought Let's Go Pikachu, not Let's Go, Sword and Shield, and then all of a sudden, there was half the Pokemon were gone. And then Game Freak goes, oh yeah, that's a thing that we wanted to do. Could you imagine that? To me, I think this is really awesome that they communicated with us right from the get-go. They didn't lie. They didn't try to hide the fact. They said it straight up at E3 that, hey, listen, guys, we can't do all the Pokemon. They said it straight. So, when you have people straight up saying, oh, this isn't it, oh, this is nothing, oh, they haven't done anything for us. What are you guys talking about? It just makes me so infuriated and angry that you guys have to sit there and keep bashing on Twitter to make people feel like shit. You're making a Pokemon company feel like absolute garbage. You're making people who worked on this game for so long feel like trash. Why? That doesn't make any sense. And so now, today, I go on Twitter for the 8th time today, and I see hashtag I stand with Cerebi trending. I'm like, you got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. These are a bunch of people trying, like, it's just, why? The amount of death threats, harassments, all these people saying, it's just so upsetting. It's upsetting to me. This upsets me a lot. And I haven't talked about it because I don't want to talk about it. I've just been like, hey, listen, I don't need to I didn't want to speak about it because I didn't want this to be a whole thing. But the amount of hate and disrespect that you guys have is just insane. You guys are getting upset at people who are even doing coverage for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Are you serious? There's just no way. This dude worked his ass off. Cerebi.net. If you guys are dedicated Pokemon fans, you guys know what Cerebi.net is. And you mean to tell me that you guys are gonna get on his case? You guys are sending death threats to the person who made a website? That's what the Pokemon community is? Like, what? Here's my whole take on Sword and Shield right now. This is my personal opinion on what the game is. I've seen all the starters. I've seen them. I love their designs. Even if I don't fully love every single design, I still like their designs for the game. I still like the fact that the game looks good. It looks good. And I don't care what anybody tells me. The game genuinely looks good. It looks like a good Pokemon game. I love the Gigantamax. I love what it has. I love what it looks like. I love Dynamaxing. It looks great. It looks fine. It's better than Mega Evolution. Alright, 3 turns. That's all you get. That's amazing. That makes competitive so much better. I love the fact that Game Freak is putting more time and effort into competitive, allowing people who hit a certain division to go to Pokemon Worlds. That's huge. That we never got that. That's a first. And I want them to keep doing that. That's amazing. I love that. I love the trainer cards. The trainer cards look amazing. They have more customization than any Pokemon game ever. They look good. Why are we... I love the fact that we can still see Pokemon in the wild. That's something that no one's talked about. I love the wild area. I love the fact that you can turn the camera. That's something I've wished for in a Pokemon game for so long. Yeah, sure, I can only turn the camera in the wild areas, but the ability to even turn the camera, I love that. The designs for some of these new Pokemon, I love that. I love some of these new characters that they've made for Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's what I love about the game. And I haven't even played it yet. I'm excited for the game. I have my pre-order up. And then you still have people on Twitter discouraging people to stop buying the game. Don't buy the game. Don't give Game Freak your money. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to support? Like... You guys got me fucked up, dude. When I'm reading those tweets online, and you guys are killing me. Like,
the thing is, if you don't like the game, that's okay.
That's okay. You don't have to
but
like
you don't gotta
the game.
Kill everybody else over it. It's not your choice to make. If you don't like the game, don't buy the game. That's it. If you like the game, buy the game. If you don't like the game, don't discourage other people who want to buy the game. It's that simple. This doesn't have to be a conversation, period. Have some damn courtesy.
I don't think I've ever shown my appreciation for Pokemon. So let me start off by saying I've never been, or excuse me, my Pokemon was not 100% my childhood. I started watching Pokemon when Ash was going to the Battle Frontier, I believe. That was my first time watching it. I watched it at my home, in my first house, and it was great. I'd watch on Saturday nights with my brother, and or in the morning before I went to school. It was great, and I stuck with it. My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Pearl. My brother got the Diamond copy. We loved it. The music was great. The Pokemon in the game were great. I loved everything. And then I even went back to go play Fire Red, Leaf Green. I went back to play Emerald Crystal. I have played X and Y. I have played ORAS. And even if I didn't like ORAS, I still played it. I still played Let's Go. And I loved all those games. Yeah, some of them definitely didn't have my best adventures in it, but I still played those games. I still loved everything that it was. Me catching my Pokemon, battling other people, and not just people in the game, but also people outside. Like, I would go to school and I would play against people in school. It was awesome. And so when I'm seeing people absolutely shit on this, absolutely just it's just so upsetting, because I'm just like, yo, we've done. I know it's not what you want, but you have to understand. You have to take a step back and look at it as a whole, as a perspective, that this is still gonna be a top tier and a top quality game. I'm still picking up my game. I never canceled my pre-order. So when I hear that not only that the devs are getting shit on, but fans who have dedicated their lives to this game, who have dedicated passion into this game, and even if it wasn't even passion, just fans who love the game Pokemon, and if they don't love the game Pokemon, fans who still put up with Pokemon's bullshit. We put up with their bullshit many, many times. So to hear people genuinely killing each other over buying a game right now, over wanting to be excited for a game coming out, it's just so upsetting. It's so disappointing. If you're still here at the video, I want you to, if you have a social media account, if you have a YouTube account, whatever, go ahead and just type one great thing that you love about Pokemon Sword and Shield. If it's not about Sword and Shield, if you don't love it, that's okay. Talk about a great Pokemon game you love. Make a video, comment about it, tweet it, post an Instagram post. Go on Facebook and talk about it. Game Freak's trying their best. They know what they're doing. And it's something that they've been doing for a long time. I trust Game Freak. I love Game Freak. I love Pokemon. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a fantastic game. So wait until Friday. Wait until Thursday night. 12 o'clock a.m. Wait, please. And then we'll see where the game goes.